I think both presidential candidates we had in 2016 were probably the greatest two candidates ever. I do. I refuse to be conned by billions of dollars of negative campaigning. I mean, they say Hillary may have killed someone. And maybe she did, who knows? That's exactly the type of ambition we're looking for as a country. Isn't that what you want? If your job were to hire a president, wouldn't you want someone that looked you in the eye and said, I would kill for this job, rather than, yeah, I guess I would campaign really hard? You want someone that says, I would kill for this job. And it looked like she meant it. I mean, it's not like she's killing randomly. And even if she did, she didn't even get caught. Do you realize the intelligence required to pull that off? I'm talking Ted Kaczynski type of intelligence here that made the Unabomber so infamous. You know, Osama bin Laden level intelligence. This is like masterminding stuff here. This is like some Walter White stuff, you know? And even those people got caught eventually. So it's probably more like Dr. Stephen Hawking style intelligence. Does anyone remember the time Dr. Stephen Hawking murdered somebody? Nobody? Exactly my point. And you never will. He's too smart. Everyone in the world is convinced he has ALS, as if being paralyzed would hold him back anyways. Such a brilliant mind like that. And how do you even know? It's not like you chuck a baseball at his head to see if he flinched. Right? You don't know he's paralyzed. You don't know what he's capable of. Right? He's probably uploading his mind to Skynet as we speak. You think it's just a coincidence someone smart enough to get away with murder just happens to also have the perfect alibi? ALS was only supposed to give him 2 years to live. You know, at some point you think people will go, wait a minute. We never did catch Jack the Ripper. And there just happens to be this seemingly immortal guy pretending he has a fatal disease. And yet he never dies. No one thinks that because it sounds just crazy enough. And yet Stephen Hawking's smart enough to know this. This is exactly the type of intelligence Hillary has, people. It's a shame she never got to be president. And don't worry, Trump fans. I'm talking about the positive qualities of Trump next. You know, Trump may have bodies buried under concrete too. So let's be honest, he's plenty qualified as well. Sure, they say Trump has no prior history or experience in politics, only real estate and entertainment. But I have one question for you. Are you not entertained? Sure, worst case scenario, things could go very wrong, putting Agent Orange in control of the U.S. military. But don't act like you haven't watched apocalyptic movies. You saw them, and you liked it. I bet some of you even wished you could see it again. Well, here's your chance. Best of all, it doesn't even cost you anything. May cause headaches, derangement syndrome, and increased risk of death. Some assembly required. Popcorn not included. People say Trump lost a lot of money on a casino, screwed over his lenders. But America's $20 trillion in debt. We haven't had this much screwing since the Kennedys were in office. Everyone's acting like we're on the verge of civil war. They're too linked into their phones while worrying about our national debt. We need a hero, and there's nothing America needs more than a good screwing. Maybe Cheeto Jesus is the pussy grabber for the job. Don't act like you're concerned about the financial well-being of some Saudi prince sitting on his throne, counting his sovereign wealth funds, how much he's earning at the expense of the U.S., paying this guy interest payments that some banking cabal printed out of thin air. You know, people say Trump's totally narcissistic. I'm like, dude, stop trying to sell me on the guy. How much better does it have to get? Do you realize how awesome that is? That means if he wanted to start global thermonuclear war, He actually has to go. Bad idea. I have properties in every country. That's like no go. That's like a built-in mechanism for world peace. You know, he can't risk having the T blown off Trump Resort, because then it's Rump Resort, and that has a whole negative clientele. Takes a total hit to his property value. You know, you can't bomb the surrounding countries. Everything will tank. So we have a built-in mechanism for world peace. How did anyone make up their mind in 2016 of who to vote for? You know, both candidates are just such great options. For some reason, everyone says 2016 had the worst candidates ever. Because they claim they're evil, murdering con artists that screw over people and only care about themselves. I say they're the best candidates ever because they're narcissistic, cunning, manipulative entertainers willing to kill for the job and screw over banks and entire countries on behalf of the American people. I'm Mandela Effect Comedy, and I approve of this message.